to see you just look good on the outside with nice clothes or whatever, and then on the inside you're just tore up from the floor up. I mean, what good is that? I mean, come on, man. You know, um, there's a lot of people out there like that. And then they look good on that. They look good. They drive nice cars. They live in nice homes. They might even have nice families and nice jobs. But then they go home and pop that lock, and they're miserable. You know, really, I want to see you live a happy existence, and the only way to live a happy existence, well, is through God. And the only way to do that, and that'll, but whatever. I'm just saying I want to see you happy. And the money and material things and all that stuff, great. But that's not gonna make you happy. You know, so I want to see you genuinely happy. I want to see you genuinely happy. Do what you want to do. But that's why I have these conversations with you. You know, because I'm your father and I love you in a real way. So, you know. Anyways, I don't know. What else do I want to say to you? That took a whole 50 or 16 minutes and 15 seconds. Um, hmm. I don't know. So, I mean, like, what do you do in your spare time? You know? Like, these are questions that I just wonder to myself. Obviously, I'm not going to get any answers to these anytime soon. Um, but, I don't know. Like, what do you do with your spare time? Do you work anywhere? Um, what's your favorite subject in school? Do you have one? I don't know. Do you play sports? Are you good at sports? Um, how tall are you? I wonder that all the time. How tall are you? Are you tall? I mean, are you not? I mean, you look. I don't know. I guess not. Maybe not like you're not like a beanstalk, but I don't think you're a little short person either. You're probably like, I don't know, in the middle, right? I don't know. I don't even know. I've never even seen you like in person. Well, I have, but you're a little baby. So, but yeah, I don't know. There was this person I went to in man, I was like in 5th grade, and this girl, her name, man, what was her name? It was I was in school in North Buffalo. You remember? I had that little Buffalo Bills shirt on and the little trolls and stuff, and they were on the little lamp mantles or whatever. I was in North Buffalo, School 81 on Tacoma Avenue. Um, I got some stories about that school. That school is crazy, but yeah. Um, I think that school is like from like up to 8th grade or something. Um, but yeah, that school was like really like I don't know, it was weird. It was just ran weird, and our principal was a I could get into something. I'll talk about that. What else am I gonna talk about, right? Um, whatever. I mean, I talk about stupid stuff, like I kind of reminisce, because what else am I supposed to talk to you about, Mackenzie? I mean, if you were sitting here, we could have a real conversation. On this cell phone, I just kind of like just talk about whatever comes on my mind and I roll with it. I don't know. Um, but yeah. I mean, whoa, what is that? Hold on for a minute. All right. Yeah, for some reason this hoodie, like it's a zipper hoodie, and like I looked down, I heard it like zoop, I heard it like zipping. I was like, what is going on? And I looked down and like the zipper kind of like just like parted ways with itself, and I was like, what happened here? But I fixed it. I just kind of went down with it on the zipper and zipped it back up. What happened? Like what is going on here, man? Is the zipper broken or something? I mean, this is it's an old hoodie, but it's not because I never wear it. I got it like years ago, like maybe a few years ago or something. Definitely a few years ago, but I mean, I never wear this thing really. It's not even that warm of a hoodie. It's just like a hoodie that you would wear, I don't know, in the fall or something, or like towards the end of like the beginning of spring. Like right around now, like a cool day, like maybe 50 degrees. Put a t-shirt and this hoodie would be fine. But it's nothing that you would wear in like the winter time under a coat or something. At least I wouldn't do that. Maybe some people would, but I don't know. Um, get some water really quick. Hang on, Mackenzie. um, yeah. Oh man, dude. All right. What was I gonna say about North Buffalo? Why did I start talking about North Buffalo? I forgot. Um, I know I was talking about my school. Then I went and then I was gonna say something, but then I kind of like veered off into like how weird it was. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was just like kind of a weird. Maybe that'll maybe as I talk, that'll just kind of come back to me. We'll see. But yeah, 81 was a weird school because it was just weird, man. You know, it just was a really weird school. Like we had to like our principal, his name was Mr. DePello, I think was his name, and assistant principal was Mr. Glistina. Um, and they were hotheads, man. Like really, like Mr. DePello was just like he was used to be in the military, so this dude was like crazy. But he didn't like go off on people. He had like the assistant principal, Mr. Glistina, used to go around and just like literally like I was 10 years old, man. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Like you saw how small I was. I looked like I was 5 when I was 10, man. Like, come on, dude. You know, this is a grown man with a beard and everything. Like, he was just like, I don't know. I'll get to that story in a minute. But yeah. Wow. And it was just an everyday occurrence too. But I mean, not with me, but just with other people. I'd be walk down the hall and this dude would be screaming like, dude, like it was that school was just nutty. I'm telling you. But yeah, they definitely were not taking too much garbage from any kids in there. I don't know. Maybe something happened before I started going to that school, and they just kind of cracked down on everybody. But it was crazy. But yeah. So Mr. DePello, I believe was his name. He was an Italian dude. Mr. DePello. I've only seen him like a few times, but he was like, I don't know, so he was crazy, man. Like, I don't know if he was crazy. I didn't know him all like that. I'm not trying to be mean to the dude, but he just like, he was worse than Mr. Glistina, but Mr. Glistina used to go around and do his dirty work, I guess. But I would rather get yelled at by Mr. Glistina than this Mr. DePello person. Like, he yelled at me once. And dude, I've never been so scared in my life. I was 10 years old. I was the size of a Cabbage Patch doll. And there's a grown man like yelling at me. Like, he's not even my father. I'm just like, what is going on, bro? Like I was ready to drop down and give this dude 100 push-ups, man. He was just all up on me. Like it was like that after, it was like that after school special or whatever it is, like with when people go to prisons, like these criminals, like these little criminal kids, they take them to grown people prisons, and the prisoners get all up in their face and they're just like, whoa, dude. And they scare them. I think it's called Scared Straight or something, as a matter of fact. I don't know, look it up. But it was like an episode of that, man. Like, really, I'm not even lying to you. I mean, obviously it wasn't a prison, but nonetheless, that's what happened. Like these, like the principal used to, like, not Mr. DePello, but Mr. Glistina used to get all up in people's faces, man, for the dumbest stuff in the world. Like I remember, I was just like, how like when you're at lunch, you just kind of like pop the straw on the table to open it up. We weren't allowed to do that. We had to take the straw and kind of like peel it off from the top and just kind of slide the straw out of the package. And one day I just forgot, dude, because where I come from, you just boop, boop, boop. That's what you do. That's how you open up a straw and see the big deal. I knew the rule. It just slipped my mind. And the dude was kind of like, kind of like walking around the lunchroom, because like the thing is, like, for the first 10 minutes of lunch we couldn't even say anything. We had to sit there in silence, really, like the whole cafeteria, dude, or Mackenzie, I'm sorry. To sit there in silence, utter silence. Like the only thing you would ever hear is people chewing their food and potato chip, like just what it would sound like in your cafeteria if everybody just shut up and didn't say a word. That's what it sounded like. But I couldn't, I didn't really remember the rule. And the school I came from, like, dude, I came from a normal school. I wasn't, and like city schools aren't like that. That's what I'm saying. 81 was just like a weird school. It was like real military. And that's what I'm saying. The principal at the time ran it that way because he was from the military. So it wasn't like, it was a school that just like, dude, whoa. But yeah, I remember the one time I popped a straw on the table and I forgot about the rule. And Mr. Listino walked up to me and he just said, "Come here." And I was like, man, I knew I was gonna get it too. I remember walking out there with him and I'm like, man, here we go, man. And he didn't make me cry. I think I was sobbing though. I was about to cry. I was a little kid, man. He was a grown man, beard and everything. He's all up in my face. He had like I don't know. He had like this like, like when people talk, they got like the little strings of saliva, like the little saliva strings right there. He was going off on me, spitting all over me. Like his face was red and his eyes were bulging. He got that like little the little saliva things going on like in his mouth. Like he was just like, dude, he was going crazy. And I'm just like a little kid and I'm just watching this dude flip out on me. Like I don't even know this guy. He's not my father or anything. And like my father didn't even yell at me like that, man. And I did some crazy stuff when I was little, kind of sort of, like not crazy, but like, dude, like this guy is not even my father and he's just over here bugging out on me. And wow. Whoa. Like I'll never forget that. But I was trying to keep it together, I was trying, like, I was a kid. I didn't really cry that much. I didn't, really. I was the type of kid where I'd play football with my friends and I wasn't, but I'm not saying crying is not weak. Crying is healthy, but when you're younger, you don't see it that way. So I was just trying to keep it together, man. I was like, I don't want to see my friends see me cry because if I started crying, my friends would have ragged on me, man. I wasn't trying to have all that, So I was trying to keep it together, man, because I knew I had to go back in there, and I don't want to go back in there with tears in my eyes. So I was just trying to suck it up, and I was trying to be a man at the age of 10 years old. It just wasn't happening though. But luckily I didn't crack. But I was about to. That he was all up in me, man, for like 2 minutes, just bugging out for 2 minutes. And yeah, yeah, I was like 10 years old. You saw that picture. I had with the one with the Bills thing on, and yeah. But yeah, he was and I was like up against a wall. Like he had me up against. It's not like he had me in the middle of the hallway and I'm just standing there with my head down. No, I was like up against it. Like this dude had me up against a wall, and he was in my face like this, like literally like right here. Like I'm a little kid. I'm not even 11. Wow, like that's crazy. Like he was just bugging out on me, man. Oh boy. I don't know. Yeah, that was a interesting school. That was the first time I ever saw a girl knock out a guy. Her name was Katrina. And she used to hang out with this girl Abina. Katrina Abina. Abina wanted to she wanted to fight me or something for no reason. I don't know. I think she was just trying to test me out or something. And she was just like, so now I was gonna fight her too. I don't know why. I just was. Like I said, I was when I was younger, I wasn't the type of person to really sit there unless anybody pushed me around. Like even if I had to take a beating for it, I was never like that. So she was a girl. But hey, I wasn't pressing her. She was pressing on me. So hey, she was bigger than me too. Whatever. So I said, okay, well, I take or no, because I walked home. I lived right around the corner. I lived on a street called Shoreham, which is right, like literally, like probably a block